Hi there guys, in this video I will be showing my upgrade. I will be upgrading my PC to a 5820K. I did look at the Skylake platform and it did look quite interesting, but I came to the conclusion really with the Skylake that it's a 4-core processor versus a 6-core, and at the moment I know in gaming especially they kind of favour a faster 4-core or a faster single thread 4-core rather than a higher thread count, but I could see that changing in the future. One of the reasons for doing this upgrade is that another person in the family had an old PC. This PC was kind of old enough that Windows 10 wouldn't install on it, so this meant that we either had to buy another system of a sort of similar spec to what I had, or the other option was to spend a little bit more and get something better for me. Then my old system could go to them. So for me this made more sense, because both of us then get an upgrade, and this meant also the other person could finally upgrade to Windows 10. So now let's have a look and see what I've got. So the first thing I got sorted was the power supply. At this time I decided to go for a Seasonic Platinum power supply. The main reason is because it's how efficient it is, and also I wanted a very silent build, so maybe a bit overkill 760 watt, but I didn't have a lot of choice between the size because the seller didn't have any actually 660 in stock. Seasonic usually got a very good rep, and they're well known to be pretty quiet power supplies. Something that I'm trying to do in this build is to keep it silent as possible. So that's the power supply. So the next thing we need to have a look at is the cooler. So for this I decided to go for a Crosshair H110i. Basically I found out on the net it was saying that it's a pretty silent cooler once the fans are down. If the fans start going up too much then they can become quite noisy. However, I thought if I go with such a kind of large cooler then that shouldn't be such an issue. And also being an i, it's a version that you can program up on the USB, so you can change all the settings. So I didn't think that would be the sound problem would be that there with this cooler. And also with the processor you don't actually get a stock cooler, so to buy a standard air cooler and an all-in-one wasn't that much difference. With the actual the most important bit, the motherboard and chip, I got these off of Overclockers and they had a deal. I think you get save about 50 quid off the two, and all you have to do is add some memory. For the memory I decided to go for some Vengeance memory, Crosshair again. It's not the highest frequency RAM, but I don't think memory frequencies in that make a huge difference to the overall performance. I decided to go for 32 because it fills up the motherboard by half, and it's half the maximum of the chip, so it means if I want to upgrade more later on then that allows me to put another 32 in later, which I know is a bit overkill, but it gives me the option later on if I need to. So here's the memory again. I also like that it's not particularly high profile as well, so it shouldn't get in the way of any fans or bits or pieces. Sometimes memory can get quite tall. So this is the motherboard again. I felt with the X99 series they were all pretty high end. You can pay quite a lot more for some other motherboards. There was another deal between that and the Asus board, but I kind of looked up and the Asus boards didn't seem to get a particularly good rep. Maybe that's just the internet giving you the bad, I don't know, but I didn't see much bad with Gigabyte, so I decided to go that route. Anyway guys, let's put it all together. So guys, this is PC together. For now I've used my old graphics card. I'm not too sure what to do with it. If you have any suggestions let me know. I know the Pascal is due next year sometime, and I don't know if this means it's worth spending a lot of money now or holding back and waiting for it. I don't know whether to go for the 970, 980 or the 980 Ti. Obviously there's a lot of price difference between them. If I do upgrade, this graphics card can then go to the other PC, which would be a bit better fit for it. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Okay, so some of the other things I wanted to try and do is try and keep the cabling as neat as possible, which is always quite difficult. One thing I had to do to try and help with that is to move the hard disk up the top here. You can see the cooler with the two fans on the top should get rid of all the exhaust heat and should make it quite neat. And see the two fans on the front are basically clear, so it should mean they can bring in nice cold air. The power supply, the only bugbear with the power supply is kind of with the cables. For the price it is, they could have been a bit better cables. But other than that, it seems to have gone okay. So let's have a look on the reverse and show you the cable side, or the messy side. So guys, this is the other side, the side you don't normally see. It's a little bit messy, but I don't think it's too bad. I did have a bit of trouble getting the large ATX power cable routed in, because it's quite a hard cable to actually move around. But other than that, it's not gone too badly at all. So the next thing I want to talk about is the lighting system. I didn't want to put in a fixed colour, so what I got was a coloured strip off of eBay. And what I did is I got a piece of magnetic tape and stuck the two together. This means that this strip is basically removable, and it's not fixed in one position particularly. This system also came with a little remote control, which means you can actually change the colour. You can set various effects on it, and you can even turn them off. So if you're watching a film or something and you don't want to have your PC lighting up, you can just press the button at the top right and actually even turn them off completely. So guys, let's show you what the lights look like. For this I'm going to have to move my PC and plug it in. So here we go. The PC is on, but I've turned the lights off at the moment, so let's turn the lights on. They default to the last colour you use, so I had it on blue. It's very easy just to change the colours. This system basically means that I do not have to replace the lights each time I want to change the colour, and also I don't have to be fixed to a certain colour. Like I said, these are just the preset colours it's got, which are pretty easy to use. You just simply press the button on the controller. They will probably look a bit different than they do on the camera, but the lights I got off of eBay, they're not particularly meant for PCs in such. I had to make a little lead up that had a jack, or no, a DC power plug I think, and to a Moldex plug, but it literally took me about 2 minutes to make the cable up, and once I'd done that it plugged straight into a Moldex cable and suddenly it's working fine. I don't know if you can see, probably not, at the top there's the little infrared receiver, so you can actually pick up the remote control. This also does actually have a few effects and things you can do, which I probably wouldn't use, to be honest. So for example, this one is fading through different colours. I'll probably find it a bit more off-putting, to be honest, but the options there if you do want to cycle through the colours just for fun. It does have quite a few effects. I think there's about 5 or 6 different fades, different speeds. There's also like flashes and things. It just changes colours like this. So yeah, it gives you a lot of options with the colours, and like I said, I didn't want to buy a couple of light strips and end up being stuck with, say, green, which I knew would be fine for the time being, but I would get bored with it. So this allows you to change it anytime you like, and just when you're fed up and you want to watch something, you can just say, well, turn them off. And for me that was a much better solution. So this is a little remote control, so if we just switch them back on, and then we can just pick a colour and it just changes to the colour we want. Sometimes it doesn't quite register because I've got the IR thing a bit in an awkward position, but although I didn't think you'd be changing colours too often, but it's always nice to have the option. Anyway guys, if you have any suggestions of what to do with the graphics card, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching guys, and take care and have fun.